Hello gentlemen, today I'm going to break down 10 tips that are going to help you get better on defense in Madden 25. But first, let me make a couple quick announcements. First of all, if you guys are a member of acemadden.com, be on the lookout for a new offense later on tonight. It's going to be our first ebook of the Madden 25 season, and it's going to be my current offense, which I'm having a ton of fun in. It's unique and it's very high powered. So be on the lookout for that. acemadden.com later on tonight. If you're watching this in the future, it's probably already up. And then the second announcement is I am posting every morning on Twitter tips that are going to help you get better at Madden 25 and also College Football 25. So if you're not following me over there, you're missing out on some good content. Go follow me. I'm going to put the link in the description as well as the comment section. Okay, now let's get into it, and feel free to use the timestamps to jump around between tips. Tip number 1 is going to be do not use 5-yard curl flats to defend the short flats. As of right now, they are broken. I'm going to show you that real quick. Curl flats are set to 5. We'll just come out in like verticals or something. And we'll set our slot cornerback on a curl flat. Now watch him. He's going to back up to about 10 yards. It keeps backing up too. So he's set to 5. He keeps backing up even further. And, you know, he just gets way too much depth. We have him at 5, and he goes to 10. So this little crosser right here could have been thrown. So what I recommend doing is not using curl flats at the 5 and just using stock hard flats. So we have flats turned on default. If you just put this guy on a hard flat, you're going to see what happens now is he plays the aggressive flats, and now we get the pick. Tip number 2 is use zone dropped curl flats from your safety. So there's going to be a difference between what we just talked about and this one. So with our curl flats, we're going to set them to 20, and we're going to use our safeties on 20. And this is going to take away corner routes really well from the safety position. We'll leave flats on default. And what you're going to see is if we call, like, let's say a cover 3, this is going to be much more effective at taking away the sidelines. So we just call a play that has like a corner route or something. We'll do bunch trail. And what I'm going to do now is let's go ahead and show 2. And what we're going to do is shade our coverage down. So wire triangle, right stick underneath. So that's going to give us hard flats, which is what we want because this will effectively take away the aggressive flats or the short flats. We're going to put this guy on a curl flat and then put this guy on a middle third. So we'll run it like that. And now what you're going to see is we effectively take away the sidelines. Now that wasn't like the best route combo ever, but the point is that is probably the best way to take away the sidelines right now is using a hard flat underneath and using a zone drop safety to effectively take away the sideline from corner routes. For tip number 3, if you're trying to call a cover 4 drop, but your defensive formation doesn't have one, you can turn a cover 4 quarters or a cover 4 palms into one by making one quick adjustment. So let's come out in cover 4 quarters, and all you're going to do is wire triangle, right stick down for underneath, or over the top, either one. So right stick down or up. And we're now going to have a drop cover 4 on the field instead of a match. And I'll show you what a match looks like. It's going to be kind of like a weird zone man coverage hybrid. See how it's much different? It's not an actual drop, it's a match. All you have to do is just shade your coverage, or you can turn zone drops on. That'll cancel it too. Tip number 4 is if you have a play where there's only 3 players rushing the quarterback, you probably want to blitz your user to help that pass rush come in. So what I'm going to do now is show you what it looks like if you don't blitz your user. And you will still have access to switch stick when you do this, which is nice, but you know, what's the point if your pressure is never going to come in or it takes like 3 business days? It's like not even worth it. I would rather blitz my user, bring him down over here, get those 2 green rectangles. Those are your pass rush points. Now the offensive line is targeting you, and this is going to help your pass rush come in. So you can't switch stick, but at least your pass rush is going to come in faster. Tip number 5 is all man coverage plays have default shading built into them. So right now I'm in a cover 2 man. And in a cover 2 man, it's going to be a shade down or shade underneath, shade inside coverage. So it's kind of a combo coverage of shading. And this is going to effectively take away a lot of underneath routes. So you might have noticed that cover 2 man is just very good on underneath routes. It's just kind of very smothering. If you look at these routes, they just are naturally covered. And it's because it's this very aggressive shade down, shade inside man. That's the reason why it's probably the best version of man in the game. And you have those 2 safeties over the top. Now, other man coverage plays have shading too. I'm not going to get into that. But I just wanted to let you guys know that every man coverage play does have a default shade. For tip number 6, if you're struggling against a mobile quarterback and your contains aren't working, or whatever you're doing isn't working, something you can do is put a spy on the field. And what I like to do is put my defensive tackle into a spy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this nose tackle into a spy. It's not showing for some reason, but he is now into a spy. And I'll go ahead and blitz my user. There we go. It's showing now. And this will do a really good job at just preventing the quarterback from scrambling anywhere. He can't go up the middle, and he can't go to the edges. Now, he might get out of the pocket and make a throw on the run, but he cannot scramble for yardage. So that's what I recommend doing. Put your defensive tackle in a spy, and if you're only rushing 3, make sure to blitz your user. Tip number 7 is shaded down hook zones, which are the yellow zones. Do a really good job at defending, drags, short crossers, things of that nature. They're not going to drop too far back, and they will actually, crack down on these routes. So let's go ahead and focus on the running back route here. Watch what happens. You're going to see that these yellow zones back way up. You can check it down, get an easy 10 yards. But if you just make a quick change, you do wire triangle, right stick underneath, watch the difference. You're going to see that this hook zone plays down, gets the pick. And you might be saying, Ace, well, what if I don't want hard flats on the outside? All you do at this point is you shade underneath, and then you have to learn your quick adjustments. So double tap Y, hit X, left stick down for cloud flat on the left side, and then do the same on the other side. So now we have shade down, and we have cloud flats on the outside. So watch. Just like that. Tip number 8 is kind of a common sense one, but I feel like it still needs to be said because a ton of people still give up touchdowns from this. And it's do not press if you have no idea how fast the receivers are on the other side. So we're playing a press cover 3, and we're going to go ahead and snap it. We'll see if we can beat him. So it looks like he's not quite fast enough for it to happen. He ends up getting back and defending. But I just want to mention, if you guys are ever getting bombed, just from a streak, do not press. Leave your guys backed off just like this and see if they know how to beat you underneath this. When you're backed off like this, you're not going to get beat deep from the streak ever, even if you're at a pretty big speed disadvantage. So I just wanted to say that because I feel like a ton of people give up streak touchdowns, which is pretty much unacceptable. Tip number 9 is when you're using 2 routes over the middle of the field, you can use the strafe mechanic to quickly change direction. So let me just go ahead and demonstrate what the strafe mechanic is. So what I'm going to do is just run around with the left stick and show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you're using the left stick. You see how you're kind of facing away from the quarterback. Now what I'm going to do is hold LT or L2 on PlayStation. Now look at what my guy is doing. You see how he's facing the quarterback? That's not the point, is not to face the quarterback, but it helps you change directions quickly. So I'll kind of show you. We're going to snap the ball. I'm going to shoot down here and then change and defend the running back. So let's have a look. RT, strafe. There we go. You see how we kind of changed very quickly? It kind of just helps you change direction a little bit faster. A lot of people don't really even utilize this. And then for tip number 10, this is a pretty big one. They've now added base align to your coaching adjustments. So if you go to your coaching adjustments by clicking your right stick in and going to auto alignment, you can change it to base. And it's the only way to do base align. You cannot do it after the play call screen anymore. And this is going to be nice against formations that have some compression. So gun bunch, great example. You're going to see that we now have outside leverage. We have this slot cornerback who's now outside of the bunch. We have this outside quarter, which is now outside of the bunch. Ignore those cross quarters. They're not important right now. But we basically have like a much wider defense. And this is going to be good for multiple things, defending corner routes. It's going to be better against outside runs when they call stretches and stuff. But overall, I think base is very important against compression. And I just wanted to let you guys know that it's in your coaching adjustments. So hopefully these tips helped you guys out. This was definitely aimed more towards beginners. If you're intermediate, this probably didn't help you too much. But just be on the lookout for more tips this week. And then also, my ebook is dropping tonight. So if you're a member of acemadden.com, be ready for the new offense. You're going to love it. This is one of my favorite offenses I've ever made. It's very, very fun. So be on the lookout for that. I'll see you guys in the next one.